I'm Chris Deedy. I'm the Worth Professor in Learning Technologies at Harvard University. I do a lot of work with emerging technologies, trying to figure out which are the golden goose and which are the wild goose in terms of learning. And for years now, I've been both studying the development of mobile learning and also participating in that development by designing and studying augmented realities for learning. Well, I I find it ironic that when I talk to many people and I ask if they're doing mobile learning and they say, yes, we are, it turns out that what they mean by that is that they're using cell phones and tablets. But unfortunately, much of the time, they're making those mobile devices immobile. So you've got a cell phone or a tablet sitting on a desk in a classroom or sitting on a desk at home. That is not mobile learning, even though it's a mobile device. To me, mobile learning means any place, anytime, moving around is part of the learning experience itself. And by those standards, there isn't much mobile learning going on, unfortunately. We have the mobile devices, increasingly, we have the mobile access anywhere, but we aren't truly doing mobile learning. So for me, the central pedagogy is taking advantage of where you are. So if you're in the classroom, that's not a very interesting place. It's not easy to take advantage of being in a classroom. If you're at home, again, wherever you're studying may not be a very interesting place. So the pedagogy is what's called situated learning, which is where the setting that you're in is itself an important part of the learning experience. And mobile devices open up new forms of situated learning that we just can't do with laptops or computers or other things that you can't easily hold in one hand and move around with you. I was one of 15 people who were the technical working group for the 2010 National Education Technology Plan, which attempted to sketch the difference between a 21st century learning environment and a 20th century industrial era learning environment. And one of the big differences was the idea of learning any place, anytime. That in 20th century learning, whether it's pre-college or post-secondary, there's a learning place and there's a learning time, and that's where learning is focused. And in the 21st century, just as in other parts of our lives, we don't segment ourselves into just one time slot or one particular place in order to do things. So I think that the big challenge in terms of 21st century learning is helping us get out of that school box that we put ourselves in, even though we have devices that could let us walk outside of it. Well, first, I think it's interesting how attached people have become to their mobile devices. I mean, you read these surveys, I'd rather leave, my winter coat at home in January than leave my mobile phone at home. So clearly, it's fulfilling a role that many people find important both professionally and personally. And also we see people personalize their mobile devices and see that as part of their identity. They get an Apple Watch and they're so proud because they're so cool. My younger daughter has, a pink phone and she gets these special decals to put on it. And it's a way of expressing herself and her identity. So I think that people have gotten very caught up with mobile devices as an extension of themselves. And then, of course, if they become an extension of their learning, not just they're finding information, not just they're communicating with friends, not just they're entertaining, not just they're doing work, but actually part of their learning, then that deepens the sense of identity as a learner.